This video is going to be about TB Joshua, even though I haven't done a video for a while. Just want to share some fruit of TB Joshua's ministry and doing a bit of research, as you can see in the community section of my channel. It's been reported that some people can't see that section at all, but if you can, go and read the documentation there from one of the websites, and it exposes TB Joshua, not only his fruit, but really what goes on in his headquarters in Nigeria. Now, it's not only been eyewitnesses that have travelled there and people who have had certain things happen after they've left. It's the fact that when you go in, there's a plaque on the wall in the main building that says there is no God but Allah. So I would ask you, if you're a Christian, would that plaque actually be in a Christian building, do you think? Just a question. A lot of you might not have heard that before or expected that, but it is there. There's photographic evidence, witnesses that have reported it. And many people who've come from different countries who've had their passport taken from them by TB Joshua and his ministers until they give them a certain amount of money. You already know that you got to pay a certain amount of, I think it's $2,000 to actually get into his church. So again, this is a fruit of mammon. The original apostles, the apostles could have done that. They could have hired out a building to do miracles at and deliver people, but they never did. You never see this in the Bible. And yet, 2,000 years later, we have ministries actually charging people. For a lot of people, it's almost like a year's wages just to visit his church. And if you don't do everything that you're supposed to do, whatever that is, then they can mess you around. Take your passport off you. They can tell you to do stuff. That's not biblical. And there's many testimonies about that you can read. Another fruit of this man's ministry is that back in 2014, it was well documented that at least 120 people, we don't know the exact number, died in his building collapse on September the 12th. It's a September the 12th event. And so I've spoken to a few people from South Africa. At least 80 of those people in that building were from South Africa. And you can imagine some of their family members were trapped there. There's no explanation. They didn't see the body. None of these people whom the family members went there, they haven't received the bodies back of their loved ones. And TB Joshua himself in court, and you can check the records, stated that no one died on the premises. He actually said that. Now, do you think a man of God would testify that even though everyone knows at least 120 people died in that event, which apparently he tries to blame it on some little glider that's passing like 1,000 feet over the building. How a glider or a small plane can cause a building to collapse. Maybe it's some new Chinese technology we don't know about, but it's very strange that he would try to blame it on. And, of course, the authorities could investigate who that plane was very easily, but nothing came of it. And there's no explanation as to why the building collapsed. Some people think he was covering over his one of his businesses, which he has a building business. Maybe he wants to, he doesn't want people to come and sue him, and so he lied to cover his tracks. Do you think a man of God would do that? Do you think a Christian would do that? And another very strong witness that we have is a man called David Oyedepo, who is the leader of the largest community church in the world. And, this man knew other leaders and testified and had a conference, I believe a few years ago, And he said that there's been witnesses that people have seen animal sacrifices happening on the premises. Just as you see some videos about CERN, mock sacrifices, but there's actual animal sacrifices that have taken place on that premises. Other people have witnessed buckets of blood being poured on the floor of the premises on a very regular occasion. And would this be a source of his power, his occult power, that the ground is consecrated in order that he can perform his so-called miracles? You think these miracles are of Jesus Christ? You have to pray about it. You have to ask God about that. But what I would do is, if you're ever considering going to see TB Joshua, I'd pray hard about it. Me personally, I wouldn't go, but it's up to you. God bless you. Thanks for your prayers. Until the next video, shalom.